Welcome to 1337. Welcome to the future.
In April 2026, an American F-15E Strike Eagle, operating under the call sign Dude 44, took a direct hit from an Iranian shoulder-fired missile high above the Zagros Mountains. The pilot was recovered within hours, but the weapons system officer, the WSO, ejected miles away, drifting down into hostile territory as night fell. Bleeding and injured, he faced thousands of Iranian troops and militia members aggressively hunting him across this treacherous, freezing terrain. The WSO was a high-ranking colonel. Capturing him would hand Iran a massive geopolitical prize, transforming a chaotic combat rescue into a zero-fail mission for the United States. 48 hours later, American forces pulled the colonel off the mountain. Soon after, intelligence officials leaked the secret to their success, a highly classified CIA tracking tool called Murmur. The claim was staggering. Murmur supposedly used microscopic nitrogen vacancy diamonds to detect the specific electromagnetic signature of the colonel's heartbeat from 40 miles away. It sent a chilling message to adversaries. If your heart is beating, American forces can find you. Bunkers, darkness, and camouflage are completely useless against a sensor that reads your biology straight through solid rock. It is a flawless narrative of technological supremacy. There is only one problem. Independent physicists took one look at the 40-mile range and immediately declared that Murmur violates the core laws of physics. To understand the physics here, we must validate the core premise. The human heart generates a measurable magnetic field with every contraction, but that signal measures roughly 100 picoteslas, about 1/1000th the strength of the Earth's natural magnetic field constantly washing over us. Real nitrogen vacancy diamond sensors can isolate that tiny cardiac pulse, but they only work inside heavily shielded hospital rooms, sitting centimeters from a patient's chest. Quantum magnetometry is a real emerging medical technology, but taking a sensor from a sterile laboratory to scan an active war zone requires overcoming an insurmountable physical barrier. The inverse cube law dictates how fast a magnetic field decays in space. Move just 1 meter away, and a heart signal collapses entirely into background noise. At 40 miles away, you're looking for an impossibly microscopic 10 to the negative 27th teslas. To pick up a measurement that small, Murmur must be 19 orders of magnitude more sensitive than the absolute best quantum technology on Earth. Even if that sensor existed, it would suffer a fatal clutter problem. It would detect every mountain sheep, every wild desert dog, and every single enemy soldier, leaving no way to isolate the colonel. If a sensor can truly detect a cardiac pulse across dozens of miles, physical evasion becomes impossible. A beating heart acts as an unblockable beacon. To understand this claim, we have to look at the biological source. Every time a human heart muscle depolarizes, it emits a tiny magnetic field, roughly 10 to 100 picoteslas, which is a fraction of a billionth of the Earth's own magnetic field. The tool designed to catch this faint pulse relies on synthetic diamonds, specifically engineered with microscopic flaws called nitrogen vacancy centers. These atomic defects react to external magnetic fields through the Zeeman effect. The energy levels of their electrons shift in exact proportion to the magnetic waves passing through them. Because the Earth's natural magnetic static is overwhelmingly loud, an artificial intelligence processing engine is required to aggressively strip away the environmental noise and isolate that steady, rhythmic human pulse. The atomic sensing mechanism is thoroughly documented and scientifically sound. However, deploying it in a live combat theater introduces a severe physical limitation. The world's best quantum magnetometers require placing a heavy clinical sensor less than an inch from a patient's chest. Even inside a magnetically shielded room, researchers have to average 12,000 heartbeats just to extract a single clean signal. Software filters cannot amplify a signal that has decayed into non-existence. Detecting a heartbeat from 40 miles away in an open desert directly violates the laws of classical physics. Murmur is a mathematical impossibility. The military invented this physics myth to hide the chaotic, unglamorous reality of how they actually pulled their man off that mountain. The colonel was not tracked by a quantum diamond. He was found using a standard 800-gram encrypted Boeing survival beacon strapped directly to his flight vest. Retrieving him required a massive 155 aircraft armada. Rescue helicopters flew straight into small arms fire, while A-10 Warthogs laid down devastating suppression rounds to keep Iranian forces at bay. To buy the rescue team's time, the CIA ran a sprawling cyber deception campaign. They used Pegasus spyware to generate phantom communications, successfully tricking Iranian search parties into deploying 25 miles in the wrong direction. The operation nearly ended in complete disaster. 2 massive MC-130 transport planes sank into the mud of an Iranian farm field during the extraction, forcing U.S. troops to intentionally destroy their own aircraft to prevent capture. The surgical myth of a quantum heartbeat sensor covers up a stark reality of sheer violence, analog tracking, and hundreds of millions of dollars in lost military hardware. If the rescue relied entirely on traditional beacons and overwhelming firepower, why purposefully leak a story about an impossible quantum sensor? Because the mere rumor of biometric persistent surveillance is a highly effective psychological weapon. It forces enemy combatants to live in constant fear of their own biology. If they believe their very pulse betrays their location, the psychological toll of hiding becomes immense. The myth of Ghost Murmur reveals the ultimate irony of modern conflict. Superpowers project a facade of godlike technological omniscience to terrify their enemies. But when the chips are down, survival still depends on mud, bullets, radio beacons, and the sheer human will to survive.
Thanks for watching. Tap into 1337studio.ai